Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschilla, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
Hey guys, what is up? This is Aaron with Around the World Sports, and this is episode 3 of my Out of the Park Baseball 22 series with the Colorado Rockies on GM Games. So it was a difficult first month of the season. We were 6-20. We completed our first trade of the year as we sent John Gray to the Yankees, picking up 3 pitchers in return: Clark Schmidt, Michael King, and then a third pitcher who's in the minor leagues right now. And I went on this rant about Trevor Story and how I think he's worth his contract and everything else. And I offered him a 4-year contract worth about $120 million or something, or a 5-year contract worth about $120 million or something. And as soon as I pressed end record, I got buyer's remorse. So I went in and I removed the offer. He's still willing to talk to us again down the road, so it didn't really hurt us at all. But I'm not sure that I'm quite ready to offer that contract. And I did some kind of offline looking at some of the players and some of the value we have. And one of the things that stood out to me, and I'm not going to make this deal until you guys comment on it, so you'll have to leave a comment below to let me know what your thoughts are. But let's sim ahead a day. So we're 6-20. I want to show you this deal that came up when I made an offer for German Marquez. So Mitch Keller was one of them. So I just was sort of messing around with some of the players to see what we had for value, and I offered up. Why can't I shop? He is not in a pending trade. Well, I guess you just saw it right there, but I offered Marquez up to everybody, and I got some interesting responses in return. So the first was from Cleveland, and they offered up, and it's not here anymore, so I may have to go back in and mess with it a little bit, but they had offered me Josh Naylor for German Marquez, and I was trying to expand it, like I was trying to pick up Savale or Zach Plesac, and it's something I can continue to mess around with. But Josh Naylor, look at those ratings. I mean, we are. I'm going to get a scouting report just to see how accurate it is, but I mean, he's gotten off to a super hot start, and just imagine those ratings in Coors. He's a 23-year-old right fielder. I mean, that's the kind of bat you drool over. He is. He's only got a year and a half of service, so he'd be under team control for a while. So that was deal number 1, and then deal number 2 was with Pittsburgh, and you saw that. I think for a second when you saw who I was looking at, but Mitch Keller came up as another player that was offered in for German Marquez. So I wasn't crazy about trading Marquez, but with those 2 deals, I feel like it's almost a no-brainer that I have to make a deal. So guys, tell me in the comments which deal you think I should pursue, and if I should try to expand them at all. So should I try to pick up Keller and try to add more to it, or should I pick up Naylor and try to add more to that? So let me know in the comments below. I'm not going to make any moves in this episode, but they're there. And hopefully Marquez doesn't get hurt or something like that. And it, oops, sorry. My computer wants me to reboot, and I don't want to reboot. So, so let me know in the comments below. So this episode, it's Sunday, May 2nd. Right now we're 6-21. I'm probably going to go up to the draft pool announcement today. So we're going to hustle a bit here so that we can see who is in our future. And that'll be the next question. So there's two questions that I need you guys to answer below. Number one, Mitch Keller or Josh Naylor. And number two, once you see the draft pool and where we're picking, I believe we're going to end up picking at 9, if I remember correctly, just based on previous playthroughs of year one of Out of the Park 22, where you think we should go. I have an idea of who I want to pick because he tends to fall down that far, but I want to get your thoughts on it. So let's go ahead and sim ahead a bit and see how things go here. So Scott Oberg is out for 1 to 2 weeks. We lose again. Okay, so Trevor Story, I just wanted to make sure scouting was accurate. I mean, he's good. I mean, don't get me wrong. He can hit, he can field, he can run. Josh Naylor, yeah, I mean, that's just crazy, crazy good. We're going to be at the bottom. Yep. Let's see if we can beat the Giants. Kyle Freeland is out for 1 to 2 weeks with a sore shoulder. Oberg with a sore elbow. Sheffield with a hand. Ugh, so many injuries, man. And we keep losing. Hey, there we go. A 3-2 win. 3-run homer by Owings, and Marquez with another solid performance. Our first series win of the year is we take 2 out of 3 over San Francisco, and I'm going to stop looking at every win just because this episode will take 2 hours otherwise. CJ Crone is up to 302. King picks up his first win as a member of the Rockies. You like to see it. Daniel Bard picks up save number 2 on the season. 2 wins in a row. That's a winning streak, as they say. We get a day off now against the Cardinals. 3 in a row. I gotta shut baseball cards off. I'm gonna do that as soon as this finishes loading. Kyle Freeland recover. We've won 4 in a row, so we got to move Kyle Freeland to the disabled list because he's not going to get any better if we keep putting him out there. Who do we want to call up? We don't really have any options. Our bullpen is bad, so we'll call up Santos, who is a fly ball pitcher in Coors Field, which is just going to be awesome. So we'll move Senzatella back into we're still waiting on, okay, so Estevez is out for 2 weeks. Got to put him on the DL. And I guess we'll call up Stevenson. Middle relief, long relief. We've won 4 games in a row, guys. 4 games in a row. So let's keep going. 5 in a row. Let's look at that box score. 14-3. Crone, 7 RBIs, up to 11 home runs, 25 RBIs. Trevor Story, 300 with 8 home runs. Brendan Rodgers got his average up to 280. Let's go. Crone with 2 home runs in that one. Marquez with another fine game. He's 5-2 now, and we have won 5 in a row. Anything of note here? Chris Bryant signs a 6-year contract with the Cubs, $148 million. CJ Crone wins the Player of the Week. Good for him. All right. Let's take on the Padres now. We'll look at. Wow, we've won 6 in a row. When we get through this game here against Cincinnati, we will take a look at the team stats and stuff. And we finally drop one. So 6 wins in a row, followed by 2 losses, followed by 3 losses. There we go. There's a win. So Mitch Keller Yeah, I mean, he's as good as advertised. So it's going to be a tough decision. Scott Oberg is out for a day. Shogo Akiyama hitting in 25 straight games. Oh, right, I forgot to shut off baseball cards. Where do I do that? Is it here? Yep, enable baseball cards. It's just going to make everything take too long. All right, so this game on the 16th against Cincinnati is a 10-5 win. So let's look at that box score, and then we'll go back and we'll take a look at our stats. Is that D. Gordon? D. Strange Gordon. I didn't know he changed his name. So a 4-for-4, 5 RBI game for Elias Diaz. He's hitting .321. Look at CJ Crone, guys. .340, 17 home runs, 35 RBIs in 41 games. Wow. Marquez with another win. He's now 6-2. So let's look at the standing. I'm assuming we're still in last place. Yeah, we are in last place still. 14-27. Still have one of the worst records in baseball, but we have gotten a whole lot better. Crone leads the majors in home runs. He is second in the majors in RBIs, leads the majors in OPS. German Marquez, second in the National League in wins. Second in baseball in wins, actually. So let's look at the Rockies' stats, shall we? Let's start with pitching. His pitching is never as good as the hitting stats. So Marquez, 6-2. 3.98 ERA, 2.99 BABIP, 4.04 WHIP. So he's right. He's pitching right at about what his ERA indicates. 0.9 WAR. He's walking quite a few batters, 3.1 per 9, but otherwise fine. Michael King, since coming to us, 1-2 with a 6.31 ERA, not great. But again, FIP is about a run lower than the ERA. BABIP is super high. Striking out a lot of batters, more than I would have anticipated. 10.1 per 9, and walking, frankly, a lot more than I would have anticipated with his control where it is. So we'll see if that comes down. Clark Schmidt, 6.41 ERA with us, hasn't won a game yet, but again, that FIP is over 2 runs lower than his ERA. So hopefully that evens out. Who are our other starters? Right now, Senzatella and Chichi Gonzalez are just bad. But there's nothing I can do about it because I've got some injuries, so they're just going to have to tough it out. Daniel Bard struggling a bit now. He's 0-4 in 15 games. Huh. Yeah, our bullpen is starting to get hit around here a little bit, which is to be expected. I mean, it's Coors. Jordan Sheffield, 32 strikeouts, 17 walks in 19 innings. That's not great, but if he can keep striking people out, it can keep those walks hurting us to a minimum. We haven't given up a ton of home runs. There are a couple players in here who have struggled with it, like Stevenson, 3 home runs in 12 innings, but 5-52, 2-26, 2-24, 2-20. I mean, these aren't terrible home run numbers. Somewhere between 0.5 and 1 is really good, and most of our pitchers are kind of fall in that world. Lineups, bit different story here. CJ Crone, sorry, I had a hat on. I was making my head hot. CJ Crone, 17 home runs, 1.145 OPS. 178 OPS plus. He's been a monster. Trevor Story, 849 OPS. No real speed. That's a bit of a surprise. He hasn't stolen any bases, and for somebody with his amount of speed, that's a bit surprising. Ramiel Tapia doing fine as the leadoff hitter, slugging almost 500, 806 OPS. Dom Nunez, our catching situation has been really good. Dom Nunez got a 991 OPS. Elias Diaz is an 878 OPS. Brendan Rodgers starting to hit a bit. 4 home runs, 13 RBIs out of the number 2 spot. Like to see the growth out of him. Sam Hilliard is hurt, although he's starting to hit a little bit. He's up to a 738 OPS, which is still below average, but, whatever. Hamps, and then the rest of the team is, you can see, nobody's doing particularly well. The Yoenis Cespedes experiment is not working. 3 home runs, 181 batting average, not great. Greg Bird, very limited playing time. So we're doing okay. At least recently, especially recently, we were 6-20 in April. We're 8-7, and we're only halfway through May. So I will take it. Anything here that really stands out? 1-9 against lefties. Offense is doing what the offense does. We're 3rd in runs, 2nd in batting average, 4th in home runs, but we're last in virtually every pitching category. So let's go ahead and keep moving. So we'll look at stats again at the end of the month. Hopefully no more major injuries to deal with. Lose to the Padres. We beat the Padres 13-1 that time. So now who are we going to send down? Santos. Call up Estevez. Put him back in. 13-1. Who pitched? Chichi Gonzalez with his best start of the year. That's nice. Rogers homered. Fuentes homered. 3-run homer. Pinch hit homer. 4 RBIs for Tapia. Cool. All right, let's keep going. Get shut out. Get a day off now. Arizona comes calling. We win 6-4. So Elias Diaz, 8 consecutive hits and a 9 at-bat on-base streak. Kyle Freeland's eligible to... Oh, no. Damn it. That's what I was hoping wouldn't happen. So hopefully it's not a major injury and we can work around it. That one's going to hurt. Man, our catching situation has just been phenomenal. I mean, and neither of them are long for the team. I mean, Dom Nunez maybe because he's only 26, but I mean, look at the ratings on our offense. It's just terrible. That's why I honestly when I look at those 2 trades, I'm leaning towards Naylor just because our offense is. The ratings on our offense are so bad. Like these players are not gonna, some of these players are not gonna Cron's not gonna maintain this. He's 31 years old. He's not gonna post an 1100 OPS. So Freeland is back. Let's designate him, bring him back in, put Freeland back in the rotation for Chichi Gonzalez. This Senzatella looks like he's pitched pretty well as of late. Yeah. Let's look at the waiver wire. Anybody of interest? Hanley Ramirez. Okay. Anibal Sanchez, Cole Hamels, Jay. What is this, 2010? Let's go back to the schedule. Hopefully Marquez is not serious. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Blackman's eligible. It's still pending. Ugh. So Hilliard's out for 4 months. Let's put him on the DL. Let's bring in Charlie Blackman, and let's realign this lineup. Who's playing right field for us right now? Owings. So Owings going to have to move to center because we don't have a center fielder. And Blackman's going to move into the 4 hole. We will go to lefties and stick Blackman in there. We got Tapia playing center. Yeah, I mean, Blackman has to play. He's making $20 million, so this. So he can play left, Blackman can play right, and Cespedes goes to the bench. Generate depth chart versus DH. Blackman comes in, and Owings comes in. We'll do that. And then against lefties, Blackman comes in. Cool. All right, so team schedule. It bothers me that Marquez is still... Okay, he's out for 5 weeks, so it's not the end of the world. We'll still be able to potentially I'm going to call up Ryan Rollison this time. We'll still be able to potentially move him as we get down to it. He's a lefty. I'm going to stick him right in the rotation. Chichi Gonzalez is going to go in his long relief. Gomber's going to move to middle relief. Team schedule, and let's keep going. Win over the Mets. Lost to the Mets. Lost to the Mets. Now we play Pittsburgh the final 3 games of the month. It's 3 in a row, 4 out of 5 now. Stevenson was DFA'd. Send him there. So we won 11-9. Let's play the final game of the month for us. I am recording, aren't I? Yes. Okay. All right, so we lose 9-4. Let's finish off the month of May. We are 19-35. So we have the batter of the month in May in C.J. Crone. The AL batter of the month was Tim Anderson. NL, C.J. Crone, 314, 19 home runs. Shane Bieber, the best starter in the American League. Jack Flaherty wins it in the NL. Yohan Duran wins the Rookie of the Month in the AL, and Hae-Sung Kim wins it in the NL. Player development, Senzatella got worse, but he actually pitched better that month. Rollison came in and had a tough start for us, but his numbers got better. Michael King, his number, he improved his current potential controls. Potential controls up to an 88 already. Chichi Gonzalez, Estevez, Yaro Diaz, Dom Nunez got worse. Cron got better, which isn't a surprise considering how well he's doing. Anything else of interest? Colton Welker, he's got his defense at first base up to a 43. So we'll let him keep playing down in AAA as well as Cron is hitting. There's no reason to call him up yet. That's about it, because most of our prospects are bad. Ryan Velade, doing okay down in AA. He'll probably stay there most of the season. All right, so let's look, at the league standings. So in the American League, the Red Sox lead the East 33-21, game and a half lead over Tampa. Minnesota and Chicago are battling for the Central, and Houston with an 11-game lead over Oakland in the West. In the National League, the Mets with a 1-game lead over the Braves, the Reds 2.5-game lead over the Brewers, and the Dodgers 3.5 up on the Padres with us in the cellar. We have the second to worst record in the league, only because Seattle has lost one more game than us. But it was a better month. I mean, 6-20 in April, 13-15 in May, so definitely showed some improvement. Let's look at some stats. It's batting stats. It's not going to help me. So Kyle Freeland, 2-4, an 8.47 ERA, but a 3.72 FIP. So that just does. I mean, his WHIP is 1.94. His BABIP is 4.23. That has to come down, right? It just has to. So we'll see. Michael King, 1-4, 4.63 ERA with us, but he's pitching well. Those walks are starting to come down a little bit. Clark Schmidt, 6.17 ERA, 4.87 FIP. He still hasn't won a game for us. The other starters, I said Rollison had a tough first start, and Senzatella's gotten better, but is still pretty bad. There's not much here to look at, right? Yaro Diaz has been okay, but he's got no future with us. Same with Givens, same with Gomber, same with Oberg. Really same with all these guys. Save maybe Jordan Sheffield. But those 20 walks in 26 innings aren't going to get it done. So this pitching staff obviously needs to be revamped. That's what happens when you run as the Rockies. Batting perspective, C.J. Crone has just been, lights out. 105.6 OPS. He's on pace for how many home runs? 57 home runs and 126 RBIs. The problem you run into with any sort of sports simulation is that if this were real life, right? If this were actually happening and C.J. Crone was hitting 314 with a, almost 1,100 OPS for the Rockies, they'd be able to turn around and trade him for something useful because of the year he's having stat-wise. In OOTP, they don't, I mean, they sort of look at the stats. Like, you can set up teams to look at stats, but for the most part, they look at their ratings. So if I offer Crone up, I'm going to get a bunch of, my guess, unless they completely revamp this, I'm going to get a bunch of garbage offers. Yeah, a bunch of 2-star players, or, someone who is equally as bad. He's not a starter with a 33 stamina. He's 26. Can I get any prospects at all? So that's kind of the issue when it comes to trading. So, Crone is having a great year, and for a team like the Rockies, that would be a trade chip with how bad we are. But in this particular style of game, that doesn't work. So, maybe we can add him to one of those deals. Like, if we look at Cleveland or we look at Pittsburgh, we can add him to one of those deals. So we'll see how that goes. So what else do we want to look at? Oh, the rest of the hitting, right? Raimel Tapia is doing really, really well. 323, 361, 498. 404 BABIP, though. I mean, again, these BABIPs are going to be inflated because we're in cores. So, you got to take that with a grain of salt. Trevor Story, 284, 826 OPS. Brendan Rodgers hitting the ball well. Elias Diaz and Dom Nunez, between the two of them, they're good for 2 WAR, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs. And again, Elias Diaz is another one, right? He's hitting 356, 400, 545, but I won't be able to get anything for him because he's only a 1.5-star catcher. McMahon isn't hitting. Blackman has come back and hit 318, 359, 424. Just out of curiosity, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So we may, what happens if we eat some of it? Oh, we can get Hosmer back. Okay, so it looks like we might be stuck with Blackman here, which is fine. We still have money, so I'm not overly concerned about it yet. That could change if our budget gets dropped because nobody came to the games this year. Prospects, they are what they are. Zach Veen, none of them have started playing yet. He's going to start in high A. We'll probably call him up. If he replicates this, we'll probably call him up. Or, if he continues this over the next month or so, we'll probably call him up. Drew Romo hasn't started playing yet. And Clark Schmidt is with us on the big club. So he's no good. Our minor league systems are performing well. That's something, I guess, right? They're all over 600. Fresno's 18-6. Team chemistry, we're content. We got a captain. Nobody disruptive, which is good. We can't, when you're bad, you want to make sure you're limiting the number of disruptive players, and you want to make sure you have captains because that's what's going to keep team chemistry up. Players won't be complaining, that sort of thing. So, salaries. Is there anybody that we want to think about bringing back whose contract is up, or anybody that we want to extend? No. Right? Absolutely not. God, I hope Blackman opts out. Again, we come back to Story. His request has come down, so we may be able to get him for less than what we offered him for, what we offered him at the beginning of the season. Raimel Tapia, he'll be worth 4.6. We'll probably non-tender Senzatella, McMahon, Diaz, Bird. So we're going to free up a lot of money. We're not obviously going to drop the team option on Desmond. So we're going to free up a lot of money. So we potentially could sign Story and not be any worse off contract-wise than we are now, because we're going to dump a lot of these contracts. So, all right, so let's keep going. Like I said, I wanted to get up to July 11th so that we can take a look at the draft pool. We'll look at the stats again, and then we'll call this episode 3, and then episode 4 will be probably up until the trade deadline, which is, I think, exactly a month after the draft pool comes out. So let's keep going. Against Texas, another bad team. Oh, we lose Daniel Bard for 3 to 4 months. That's no good. So we're down 3 pitchers now, including our closer. We got to call back up Stevenson, and I guess we'll make Sheffield the closer. That's not ideal, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, team schedule. Another loss. Another loss. This is a rough patch for us. We beat Oakland. Another win over Oakland. We lose Cespedes for 7 to 8 weeks. That's fine. Jimmy Herron, ground ball hitter. He's an okay fielder. I'm going to let Colton Welker continue to hit in AAA. Jonathan Daza. Let's call up Herron. Let's call up the kid. McMahon's hurt too. How long is it pending? Oh, he's got a broken elbow in his bone, and a broken bone in his elbow. Oh man, it's the cupboards are bare, my friends. They are bare. Nick Longy. It's fine. We'll just stick Fuentes at third or whatever, but it's just bad. It's just really, really bad. I don't want to call up Welker yet because he's not going to... Well, I guess he can play. He can play third. So let's get Colton Welker up there and let's let him play some third base. Let's just see how it goes. Oh, and then that can stay the way it is. Actually, he's better against lefties. So let's just make it happen and see how he does. All right. Schedule continue. So we win 2 out of 3 against Oakland, which is nice. On to Miami. Take on the Marlins. Loss. 2-1 win in 10. We lose there, and it is time now for the draft pool. Nothing here. Season ends for McMahon. Clayton Kershaw re-signs 4 years, $84 million. Chicago re-signs Rizzo as well, although he's only hitting $198. $18 million a year for 6 years for someone who's coming off a 222 and a 198 batting average. Draft pool. All right. So I think we pick 9th. Let's look. Where am I going? Draft pool. Draft order. 7th. Okay, so the mock draft has us taking Alex Mooney. And the mock draft is wrong because it's going to be Lawler first and Rocker second. That's the way it always goes. That's every draft I've done. It's been Lawler first, Rocker second. And then usually Marcelo Meyer third. And then from there it sort of changes a little bit. But Del Castillo usually goes in the top 5. That sort of thing. So let's look at the draft pool. And my immediate reaction is to go with Jack Leiter. He'll be there at 7. I think we have the money available for it. Yep, draft budget's 11.8. So my immediate reaction is to go with Jack Leiter. He'll be there at 7. Power pitcher, 4 great pitches. Decent stuff, decent movement, decent control. These will all improve. So one of the things I actually like about the way they've done drafting in Out of the Park 21 and 22 is that very rarely do you have somebody who comes out of who's in the draft who's an absolute can't miss, right? Like just electric ratings up and down the board. Sometimes you draft somebody based off of what looks good, and then they develop, and all of a sudden this 57 stuff becomes 80. So that's my initial reaction, is to go after Jack Leiter, because Rocker won't be there. Andrew Painter will be, but he's not as good. So Jack Leiter is my initial. I'm gonna look at my scout real quick. Yeah, my scout's good. Okay, I'm happy with my scout. So that's my initial thought. So you guys let me know. I'm thinking about Leiter. There are a few more available hitters in this draft. I mean, potentially I could get Judd Fabian. Brady House may fall to me, which is who the Rockies. A lot of people are saying the Rockies may end up with Brady House, who's just got a ton of power. Alex Mooney is who they're saying we should take, who's a good eye, good glove, shortstop, good leader, good work ethic. High school shortstop, of which there are plenty in this year's draft. You can see just in the 2.5, 3 stars, you've got Watson, Smith, Pacheco, Mooney, Lawler, Elijah Hamill, and Marcelo Meyer. So a lot of quote-unquote shortstops, as well as Edwin Arroyo, who tends to show up on the list as well. So that's my thought, is Jack Leiter. I want to know what you guys think. If Leiter is there, is he the pick? Or is there somebody else that you've seen develop in your playthroughs? So that's kind of my thought. As you can see here, like it says they have Leiter going 26, but he never makes it that far. I don't take him at 7. He won't be here in the next round. So, oops, my phone's reminders there. So yeah, that's my thought. Is Jack Leiter. So you guys tell me what you think. So let's look and see where things stand at the Friday, June 11th mark. We are 22-41, 17.5 games out of first place. Behind the Dodgers, we're 39-23. CJ Crone still leads the National League in home runs. He's second in RBIs, second in OPS. Things have started to slip a little bit for him, but he's hitting really well. Yeah, he wants a lot of money for a contract extension, which I'm not going to give him. Milwaukee, 37-25, 7 wins in a row. The Pirates coming on strong here a little bit. 7 wins in a row there, 8-2 in their last 10. The Mets lead the East. Cleveland, 31-30, behind 7 games behind. I gravitated toward Cleveland because I'm thinking about Josh Naylor. Like, he's all I've been thinking about all episode. Chicago and Minnesota tied for the AL Central. Astros running away with the West, and the Red Sox lead the East. How is Naylor doing? Yeah, his ratings, man. 788 OPS, that's not great, but above average big league right fielder. And if we go to Keller's 3-4 with a 5.20. This thing says he's a power reliever who can serve as a power pitcher who can serve as a back end reliever. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I'm leaning towards Naylor, but if you guys overwhelmingly tell me that I should go after Keller, then I'll go after Keller. And do I attempt to expand the deals more? What does he want now? Yeah, that's gone up because he's hitting, but that's fine. What do you guys think I should do? So again, you got two questions I need answered. Do I make a run at Naylor and try to pick up Plesac and Savale along with that? Or do I go after Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh and see if we can expand that deal a little bit? Or do we just go 1-for-1 and go Marquez for Keller? Marquez is signed 3 years. Keller's a year younger, but still under team control. So you guys let me know. And that's going to do it here for episode number 3. When we come back next time, we will handle the rest of June. We'll do the first-year player draft as well as international free agent signing. So again, guys, if you like what you've seen here, follow the GM Games channel. A ton of sports sim information here. Also, come over to my channel at Around the World Sports and drop me a subscribe and check out some of the stuff I have over there. So until we talk again, everybody take care. Bye-bye.